And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Let's get there. Hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share because the insanity, it doesn't start and stop with Trump. Oh, it's much deeper in the administration than that. So look, Donald Trump, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., what did they promise us? Well, they promised to make America healthy again. Unfortunately, that's the exact opposite of what they are doing, especially by firing the CDC director directly ahead of the flu season. I mean, that's just stupid, right? And now, literally just in time for kids going back to school, Florida, with Ron DeSanctimonious, they now are claiming that they are going to, and they are proud to say, they are becoming the first state to get rid of all vaccine mandates, even for measles, mumps, rubella, polio, which we thought were eradicated, but now making a comeback. Well, on Friday, Trump actually deviated from RFK, and he told reporters while in the Oval Office that he's actually supportive of vaccines. Play the clip.
The vaccine mandates that were rolled back for school children. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we have to be very careful. Look, you have some vaccines that are so amazing. The polio vaccine, I happen to think, is amazing. A lot of people think that COVID is amazing. You know, there are many people that believe strongly in that. But you have some vaccines that are so incredible. And I think you have to be very careful when you say that some people don't have to be vaccinated. It's a very tough position. So I'd give you an answer. I'll give you a feeling. But just initially, I heard about it yesterday, and it's a tough stance. Look, you have vaccines that work. They just pure and simple work. They're not controversial at all. And I think those vaccines should be used. Otherwise, some people are going to catch it, and they endanger other people. And when you don't have controversy at all, I think people should take it. Okay.
One more.
By the way, I couldn't agree with him more. Where is this Donald Trump in our daily lives? Yeah, these vaccinations work. Now, look, on my Mea Culpa podcast, my guest, Nick Akerman, and I, we explain in pretty raw and unfiltered detail how RFK's insanity at HSS could actually and will actually cost lives. Play the clip. This administration, Trump, they just axed the CDC director, who was only appointed 30 days ago.
Right.
Basically, she is now the Scaramucci of the CDC, right?
Right.
And this is literally right as a new viral outbreak in Texas started spreading. There's like some new viral outbreak. I don't know that's going on there. Was she too honest? Was she too science-driven? Or simply just unwilling to lie for the administration and just had a completely different point of view regarding what the CDC should be doing?
Yeah. I mean, this is not a situation of different point of view or, there's one side to the story and another side to the story. This is based on pure science that people need to be vaccinated. You need to have entire populations vaccinated if you're going to have the herd immunity that will protect the entire population. You don't send kids to school where they aren't vaccinated, where some people are, some aren't. It's just going to basically, in the end, kill a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to die because of this stupidity. I mean, why he ever appointed this Robert Kennedy to be the head of Human Services is beyond me. This guy has no idea what he's doing. He's totally incompetent. He has ideas that are back in the Stone Age. And should never be in the position that he's in. And these people did the right thing. I mean, they know that these vaccines are important, that he's taking them away. Look what's going to happen this fall with COVID. I mean, essentially, they may not have a COVID vaccination at this point. Right. Or if they do, they say they're just going to apply it to people over 65. Well, what good does that do if you've got the rest of the population that can get infected? It's totally insane. And there is no downside to these vaccinations. That's the most important part of this, is that the only way you can protect people is to do it and to keep investigating these vaccines, because you have different viruses and different diseases being created all over the world at various times. We now have no way to do anything about it.
They don't care about the outcome. They have a predetermined belief. Robert Kennedy, I've had him on this program. I said to him here on Mea Culpa about 2+ years ago, I said to him, with all due respect, are you insane? I said, what you're saying, I'm the son of a surgeon and a surgical nurse. I grew up learning how to read by reading the AMA and JAMA, the American Medical Association Journal of the American Medical Association. That's how I actually learned to read, off of these magazines that used to come on, on surgery and stuff like that. I have a true understanding. I started my legal practice doing medical malpractice. I understand a lot when it comes to this. He wants to ban vaccinations, measles, mumps, rubella, and polio. Let's just take polio as an example.
Horrible. Yeah.
Over the course of the last 5 decades, 50, 60 years, we have seen an eradication of polio in this country. It's funny. I also had on this Mea Culpa podcast Congressman Steve Cohen, who was very forthright and said, as a kid, he suffered and still does to this day. He had polio. It's eradicated. Why in the world would you not require, imagine this, not require the vaccination when you know for over 50, 60 years that it works? And what's the side effect? There is none. Well, according to Robert Kennedy and others, when you pump 5 gallons, they tell you it's 5 gallons worth of vaccinations into a newborn that only weighs 5 pounds. That's what's causing autism. And it's so wrong without even understanding that there's so much research on this that explains where autism is stemming from. It is not from vaccinations, and hence they now want to do away or give you the right to choose not to get vaccinated, and you could still, of course, attend school. So you could have a kid or a bunch of kids passing around measles, which we have recently seen. This is the problem. They do not care about the science. They don't care about the empirical data. To them, it's all fudged. It's all phony. The only data that's accurate is the data that they dream up.
That's right. And that's unfortunate because, again, like I said, people are going to die. There's no question about it.
So, but public health leadership that they've had so far, it's turning into a revolving door. I think it's 3 directors in less than 6 months or 7 months, something like that, have all left. And so how much permanent damage do you think that this does to America's ability to respond to the next pandemic? Because we know that it's coming.
That's huge. It's huge. I mean, it's even the idea that, look, there's outbreaks of Ebola, let's say in Africa. We used to go in there and make sure we got rid of it immediately, because if you didn't, it was going to wind up in the United States. Anything that occurs anywhere in the world, the way travel is now with people getting on and off planes all over the place, disease spreads pretty quickly. And now we don't have the capability to stop it at the source. And that is a huge problem. And, when this administration ends and we get rid of Bobby Kennedy, it's going to take some time to put this back together again. It's not going to be easy because you're dealing with professionals who had been there for years, had developed a certain expertise over time, and you don't get that back so easily. And that goes for a lot of federal agencies. It goes for the FBI. It goes for the Department of Justice. It's not easy to get that expertise that took years to build up, get back in a short period of time, even in one new administration.
Yeah. So look, today alone, hundreds of scientists and staff at the CDC, they just walked out. They walked out. They walked out citing political interference and unethical manipulation of data. Could you imagine that? The CDC employees walking out simply because of unethical manipulation of data. That's what they're all based on. In your view, Nick, do you think is this whistleblowing, or do you think this is a collapse of the system itself?
I think it's a collapse of the system, and it's whistleblowing too. I mean, I guess it's a bit of both. But look, he's trying to manipulate the economic system and the statistics that we get. He's trying to put in some crazy in charge of our economic statistics that will manipulate those. None of this is good, because if you don't have fair and accurate information, you can't make proper decisions, and nobody's going to trust it. It used to be that everybody trusted our systems, but that's no longer the truth. I mean, the problem is everywhere in the world, they don't trust a lot of things about the United States anymore. I'm sure even intelligence agencies in England and France, Great Britain, are they going to really trust providing information to Tulsi Gabbard and not knowing whether it's going to the Russians or where it's going and how it's going to be used? I just think we're in a real bad way right now, and to rebuild all of this is not going to be easy.
Oh, no. I mean, with all of these experts, as you just described them, walking out, their replacements, those that they can replace, they are all being drawn from a list of Trump loyalists, some of whom have absolutely no scientific background at all, literally zero, like Robert Kennedy is an example. I mean, isn't this just hollowing out of government expertise so that all that's left is blind loyalty? And think about as well how dangerous it is. This isn't economics where you lose money. That's bad. This is where you lose your life.
Right. No, that's exactly right. And look, even the State Department, people who used to go there because it was a good place to work, they did good things. I mean, they've basically hollowed that out too. So how do you replace our diplomatic corps and the people that were in charge of all these different areas of the world? And we're losing a lot of expertise and insight to what's going on all around the world now because of what he's doing. And I'm sure the same thing's going on in the CIA and the FBI. It's just a really terrible situation that is going to take a lot of work to dig out of.
Nick, here's the crazy thing. So we're seeing this play out today with the CDC. But it's, as you just mentioned, it's not just the CDC. No. It is
the government.
It's all the agencies are being gutted. All of these critical agencies are being gutted from within. Here's the funny question. You think that looks less like incompetence and more like a deliberate strategy to dismantle democracy's guardrails?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. I mean, it's intentional. They know what they're doing. And you've also got the most incompetent people in the world carrying this stuff out. I mean, that's the problem. You take the two together and it's a bad combination. I mean, look at a lot of people just didn't want to work for this administration. They didn't want to work on his campaign. He couldn't attract the best people that were out there. He wasn't attracting experts. And he wins, and who's going to go work for him? I mean, you're not going to get the best people in the country that are going to want to do that. And those that were there, just as you pointed out, they're starting to leave.
Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.